Welcome everyone to another AFK video. Today I've got a box of Steel Requiem from the Gundam TCG. So this is the third set that's come out for the game so far. And yeah, so in this set they introduced a couple fan favorite series. Like as you can see on the front here, Gundam 00. Within those, the set, some of the legend rares that I would love to get my hands on would be the Transamexia, the Gundam Barbados Lupus, the Providence Gundam, and the O. Alright, now that I've got the spreadboard open, get the knife out the way there. Okay, well, pull this thing off screen. We'll open these one at a time. Let's see how we do. All right, so if you're watching for the first time, let me know what cards you were looking forward to seeing out of this set. So, all right, got Namajuraboshi. Yeah, so we can separate all these by color: the Hyzak, the Din, G-Fred, O Gundam, Boundok, Palace-Athene, Balanoak, Field Directive, Eliminate Target, Gundam Gujin Rebake Full City, yeah. And we've got a Freedom Gundam as our first legend rare for the set. Okay, got a Theo resource, nice. Collecting these, so hopefully I can build a Theo only resource base. So yeah, I was really excited when they announced that Theo would be one of the legend rares for this set. I loved it in the Zeta series and glad to see it in the game now. So we start off with a Roe, Human Karma, a Kagu, Auda's Meganek, Wistario Afam, Gundam Barbados 5th form, got a Bernard here, Yakin Due, Gundam Visago and Gundam Astratron, Padalia, Gray's Ein, right, and Gundam Barbados Adapt. All right, nice. And a Gujin Rebake. Okay, so the Adapt is a really nice one. One of the more popular cards at the moment, especially with the power of the Blurple decks. So we'll definitely see some play. All right, so we've got Towards Destiny, got Karis, who knows, Roe, Gundam H1 Flat, got a Zagak E, Zeta Sem, GN Armor Type E, Gundam Sandrock Custom, got a Hygog, NT1 Full Armor, nice. Kai Gundam Flight Form is one of my rares, and the other one is Penelope Middle Form with a G-Fred token. Nice. Okay. Well, give me 1 second here. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so yeah, this is a set that I was looking forward to a lot. So one that I have pulled for extensively so far, and I will continue to do so with excitement. A lot of the cards are from sets that are from series that I really enjoyed. So keep it going here with the Hyzak Custom Privileged Position, Yazan Gable, there we go, Super Gundam. Make sure that these cards right. Field Directive, get the full view. Rakoa Shadow, oh, a Paptimus Sirocco, nice. And a G-Quux Omega Psychomu, nice. Camphor, very nice, very nice. All right, oh, another legend rare. This one's actually a pretty cool card. Boss Monster. Tops your curve, obviously, because it's level 8/7 cost, but got suppression. It nukes something for 3 when it hits the board immediately, and you'd be surprised how much that 3 damage how much that 3 damage can do for you, especially when it's attached to a 6/5 body. So you don't have to run it in G-Quux decks, but if you're running red, then you can definitely make good use of it. All right, next up, we got Gundam Kyrios Tail Flight. All right, Jamil Neat. So I was very excited to see another Vulture pilot. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like it did enough for Vulture decks in order to kind of make them relevant. They need something, but we'll have to see in future stats if we can get that something that we're looking for. Right, Azzy, nice. Beast Million, very interesting base for the for those wing decks. Been seeing that going around. Full armor. All right. Got a Jubertus, and we've got a Gundam Virtue. Nice. Exia. More trouble here. All right. So, seen a couple LRs so far. Haven't seen any alternate arts. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes peeled. See what else we get. All right. Yeah. So the Zaku 4 Snake Eyes. So this is the G-Quux, the level 2 1 cost. That's the clan decks were waiting for. So been seeing a lot of clan out there in the wild. People have been trying it out. Let's see. Coming up on the whoops, and you, sir, ended up in the wrong spot. All right, so we got a Gundam Death Scythe Hell. Yeah, so it was a bit disappointing. The card isn't as good as I would like for it to be, but I mean, hey, it's been included. So, and it's not to say this is the end all be all. They could obviously, you know, put in another version of the card that does something else. And we've got another Asamu Asano. So for all you Age players out there, all right, got another Rebake. Okay, yeah, so Age is one of those shows that I didn't really watch all that much, unfortunately. I had some issues with the direction of the first part and just never got back to it. So, all right, got our G Defender, our Enact, GX Bit, AU Hellion, so the superpower blocks from 00 made its way into this set, and while it's supposed to be an aggressive deck, unfortunately it just doesn't have the pieces to get there just yet. All right, so we've got Gundam Kyrios. Yep, so the Kyrioses feel like they're waiting for something in order to make them really pop. I have an idea of what that is. Obviously, we need the Hallelujah pilot card, and we also need some other super soldier support that we just don't have yet. And Kshatriya Basaran, right? So Marita got another Kshatriya to play with, this time in blue, this time with some draw utility, which is really nice. So yeah, I've been seeing blue-red Cyber New type decks that have opted to run a ton of Kshatriyas now with Marita. So see how that continues to go. We got Wistario. Okay, more Barbatos. So many Barbatoses. It's possible to do like mono Barbatos these days, which is cool. I mean, you know, that's what you like, then definitely, you know, you can lean into it. All right, another Gundam Gujin Rebake Full City. Cool. And ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Asking you shall receive. All right, so there you are, the SP version of the Mikazuki. Yep, very shiny, nice. Fortunately, don't have the with Iron and Blood to pair with it, because it has the it has like makes a picture with Orga side by side, but still beautiful pull. Grab some penny sleeves for this. Oh, and a G-Fred token. Look at that. Been looking for one of those. Finally got that. All right, let's set that off to the side there. Put it into a nice little sleeve. That's cool. Yeah, that was one of the ones that really like to see. Yeah, ever since they introduced Iron-Blooded Orphans into the game via the via the Iron Bloom starter deck. I've been trying to make it work with Iron-Blooded Orphan cards, Tekkadan, but you know, eventually they came out with the right cards, and now everybody's on the train. So I mean, you know, it is what it is, right? Okay, so we've got a Zeta Gundam Biosensor. Okay, not a big fan of this one, and a G-Fred. Nice. Okay. Well then, yeah. So been running a lot of G-Quux Xeon Green Red. Yeah, so you run lots of the same stuff that you would in your Xeon decks, you know, with Char, but instead of running 1 Year War with like Amuro, you'll instead run Neon and Sinanju, and your top end will be powerful red cards, right? Basically to try and ping your opponent out of games. So it's been working for me so far. I really like playing it. Glad that I can use my Xeon cards again. Green-red Xeon anyways. Okay. Alright, dual Gundam Assault Shroud. Fortunately not as spicy as the one that came out in New Type Rising, but is what it is. Alright, so we've got a Masala, very popular card now. Big blocker from the Jupiter set. Yep, and we've got, alright, nice. So, Gundam Exia Trans Am for sure. Alright, so that's a pretty cool card. One of the ones that is definitely a fan favorite. I know that when it was first announced, there was a bit of, you know, confusion as to what the card was going to do exactly. And, you know, ultimately the ruling was decided and it made it on the weaker side. And then as it turns out, that Celestial Being 00 is simply just not strong enough right now to compete with the best decks. But I imagine that we'll continue to get support, and it will get to a point where it can, maybe it can be usable. I mean, it's usable now. It's just not going to be able to, again, compete with the top decks. Okay, got a Nian. All right, Christina McKenzie, getting a lot of pilots. Bernard. All right, Ra Lacruza, more pilots. And Zehart. Wow, okay, so the last 5 cards were like all pilots. Very cool. All right, so, yeah. All right. We keep on making our way through. We've gotten several, I want to say we've gotten about 4, so half of our legend rares. We got one of our SPs. We haven't seen any alternate arts yet, so I'm pretty sure that you still get, even when you get like an SP, that you still get all of the slots, because every booster box appears to have 8 legend rare slots, 2 alternate art slots, and a foil resource slot. And as I found out for the first time with this set is that you can actually get a foil resource and C++ resource. So yeah, that was really cool. All right, so you got Gundam X Divider. So I was a bit disappointed with this card because, you know, it's a Vulture card. It, you know, links with both Garad and Jamil. But unfortunately, its when linked effect is an effect that you never want to use, like level 6 immediately, because it costs 4, your pilot's going to cost 1, and that means you only have 1 resource left over in order to use its effect to play something from the graveyard. So you want to play it later, which kind of sucks because it's just like, well, this game can be kind of fast, and sometimes you just want to get going, you know? And, ooh, okay, so I got the Legend Rare Plus version of the Camphor. Right, so I was pretty excited to see the Camphor because it had some, you know, some new stuff. Like, you know, it was the first thing that we saw with Burst. It was another Xeon archetype that I thought seemed kind of interesting. Haven't played around with it too much, but yeah, thought it was pretty neat. All right, so glad to see that one there. Got a Gray's Custom. All right, give me 1 second, I'll be right back. And we're back. All right, we're still just going through the packs. So far, so good. I mean, I think I'd be pretty happy with how things have gone so far. Can't really complain. All right, Distant Reunion, Freedom Gundam Meteor, Big Guns, Boom Boom, G Bouncer, and wow, all right, nice. So our second alternate art here, we've got the alternate art for Rala Crucet. Yeah, so for this set, they introduced the Providence Gundam and Rala Crucet, two big parts that are supposed to really help the Zaf deck. You know, I only recently built a Zaf deck, like right before Steel Requiem came out, like right before they had even announced Providence or anything. And one of the things that when I was putting the deck together that I realized was that Zaf had no +2 AP pilots, which was unusual because if you play Zaf, you know that pretty much all of their units, the ones that you really want to run, all care about AP, their AP being 5. So I thought it was very unusual that you didn't have a pilot that could give you 2 AP. So Rala Crucet came in and acted as that pilot. So that was a pretty cool addition. And of course, Providence Gundam, it's just like, on your top end, gives all your Zaf units AP +2 when it's paired. So it helps you get there in that way too. All right, so you've got Red Gundam here. All right, I don't run clan too much, so all right, we got an Awakened Potential. Okay, so not the alternate art version of it, but can't complain too hard. We've seen our 2 alternate arts so far, so very unlikely that we'll see another one. Now, the alternate arts slots are their own slots, so if you get an LR in one of those, it does not count against your 8 guaranteed LRs for the box. So yes, it's possible to get 9, even 10 LRs in your box if your alternate arts end up being LRs. Okay, Mav Tactics, nice. All right, Gundam Hajiroboshi in second form. Yeah, so I wasn't too familiar with Erder Hunt, so not really too hyped to see these cards one way or another, but I mean, look cool, yeah. And a Camphor, a regular Camphor, nice. So we've got 2 Camphors from the box. Okay, well, maybe it might be time to consider seeing what I can do with the Cyclops team. I haven't seen it pretty much at all, so maybe maybe it's just kind of fringe, but I haven't seen the G-Quux Xeon deck that I use all too much either, so I don't know, maybe I'll give it a try at my next local, just put something together and see how it goes. All right, we're gonna keep rolling here. Okay, we got a Humbrabi and an Ailstrike Gundam. Nice. Okay. Yep. So this one links with Mula Flaga, blocker. Got some draw then discard. I mean, what more could you ask for? All right. Thanks for bearing with me here. Yeah. Why don't you let me know in the comments what hits you ended up getting? Because, yeah, you're here joining me on my journey opening up this box. And, yeah, I want to know how the fates have been treating you guys. Let me know. Picture it didn't happen, as it were. Farsia, Bolanoak, indeed. Hygog. All right, so we've got a Look of Determination. As always, our very lovely Cordelia Ina Bernstein. So yeah, this is one of the cards that I thought was going to be really powerful, but just ended up being really clunky. So yeah, it is what it is. And we've got a Graham Acre. Nice. So yeah, the Union Flag Custom and Graham Acre together. Very powerful combination for your aggro decks that use white. High maneuver, restand itself, bounce something. I mean, you've got so much stuff, when you put these 2 cards together. So yeah, definitely worth using if you can find room for it, or if you have access to white, which I mean, white is still one of the most powerful colors. So, yep, keep it moving. Theta. Oh, Zadra, nice. Okay, so yeah, I've also been contemplating using mono purple vegan. Not particularly good. I can already tell you that from the outset. I mean, just like only vegan cards. Obviously, you can kind of splash some other purple things like Barbados Adapt to kind of try and make it stronger. And all right, so we've got another legend rare. We've got our Gundam NT1. So this one is a very interesting card for sure. So it's like a bigger version of the RX-78, the grandpa from the starter deck, right? It's got repair, but instead of giving everything more AP, right, you get to ping something that's rested, and if you kill it, you get to draw a card. So, you know, can't go wrong with card advantage. So definitely seen that here and there in Earth Federation decks and in Blurple decks here and there. But yep, our privileged position, Yazan, here's Jamil, Warped Intent, our girl Flay out here taunting us. Alright, through here, another Kai Gundam flight mode, and another, alright, nice. Got here our nice and shiny Dynamis Gundam. That's cool. Pretty sure I have one of these, which means, I was hoping to get an Exia one if I could, so that I could have 1 and 1, and then kind of put those in my my 00 resource packet. But it's what it is. All right, well, give me 1 second. Going to be right back. Alrighty, and we're back after that short break. And we're just getting through the packs. So yeah, see a lot of familiar faces now. Once you've gotten to the bottom end of the box, it's pretty much just the rares that are going to be, you know, the surprises. All right, so we've got an improved technique. So this is new card, the trifecta, like kind of create the trifecta of like burn damage spells. So previously we had close combat and battle of aces to kind of, you know, make the kind of ping package, but now we've got improved technique, which is a 3 damage nuke for 3, right? And then this is kind of, there's a cycle of these cards that are like, hey, if you've got 2 or more of these already in your trash when you play, you know, you get an additional effect or an enhanced effect. And this one gives you the ability to target any unit when the first 2 that you play will only be able to hit units that are level 4 or lower. And, oh, okay, and we've got ourselves a Providence Gundam. Nice. So, yeah, we've been getting glimpses into the new Ultimate deck that's coming out. That's the deck that's going to introduce Shin and the Minerva squad. And yeah, so looks like purple red is going to be one of the options for the deck. Depending on what else they give us, I mean, Providence might be there to stay and support that, or it might just me personally, if they give us another Atherin card, a brand new Atherin pilot card, then might go with the all Atherin route and do red white with Justice Gundam. But we'll see. Really excited for that. All right, so we've got a Vertigo and a Healthy Curiosity. Nice. Okay, so a Healthy Curiosity, one of these newer cards that has seen a lot of play recently. So let you draw a card so it replaces itself. And if you've played and it's got that, you know, if you have 2 or more of them in your trash already, then when you play it, you get to rest a level 3 or lower unit on the board, on your opponent's board. So that's always really nice, being able to rest stuff. So certainly one of the more desirable cards from the set. Okay, I got a Gui's commander type, so one of where all the crew sits. So this thing's got support, and when you use it, the support ability, you can give something AP +2, right? So very good on the utility side, allows you to really pump your units to try and get them up to that AP +5 for, you know, various abilities. All right, we've got an Eternal Base here. Eternal Base, yeah, so every set we get a few bases here and there that are rare, and quite frankly, I don't think I've seen any of them that have been particularly overbearing. I mean, a lot of the ones that have made it into decks have just been the regular common, uncommon, right? So kind of surprised that we don't have a more powerful rare base. All right, so we're getting through to the end here and winding down. I think this is the pack before last. So, yep, let's see these last couple cards. We've got the Bridge Crew. Yep, got your so this is an interesting card, right? So, gave you the ability to pick one of your units to target an enemy unit that's ready, as long as it doesn't have a pilot. So, considering that, you know, there are games where you just don't draw any pilots, or you're holding on to your pilots, this can create an opportunity where you can hit some of their units that they're trying to keep safe, right? All right, and last but not least, we've got here the Ultron Gundam. Yeah, so for all of my Shenlong enjoyers, Chang Wu-Fei enjoyers, yeah, all of us blocker haters, got the Ultron Gundam in this set. Absolutely kablams blockers. So, yep, and I'm almost positive that that is the very last of the legend rares. And so we're just gonna have a couple rares in this pack. Let's see what we get though. Last but certainly not least, we've got Zaku 2FZ. So this card with the ad balloons got some utility, makes this thing untouchable, and in the new set they introduced the Destined Battle card, which has the opportunity to make this kind of just like blank your opponent's entire combat, because they'll have to attack this thing and not your ad balloons. So it's that. And finally, you got the Tieran Taozi. So this is another interesting card in that while it's supposed to be Soma Perez's, it's got the Super Soldier trait for Link. So this is where I got the idea for like the Super Soldier deck. Tried it out. It's terrible. We just don't have enough pieces for it yet. All you've got is Soma and Alleluia and a couple cards, right? So far we've seen some support that's going to come in Phantom Aria, but I don't see it being enough to kind of make this viable yet. So we'll have to see if there are any other cards. Yeah, but okay, we'll give me 1 second to kind of clear up. We'll get the hits laid out, and then we can wrap up the video. All right, folks, there it is, the final shot of the hits. So yeah, pretty pleased with how this one turned out. Alternate arts that we got are pretty cool. Not all the boxes come with SPs, so being able to get the Mikazuki was really nice. So yeah, overall very pleased. Once again, I wanted to ask what you guys were hoping to see in your boxes, and you know what you ended up getting. I hope you had fun with me cracking this box open, and hopefully I see you the next time we do this.